I was recently surfing through the pages of the latest Infinity Cutting Tools catalog, and their 3-piece Master Dado set caught my eye. So I ordered one, and in a moment, I'll unbox it and give you my first impressions. I'm Greg Swenson, and this is the Swenson Woodshop. Thanks for selecting my channel. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell for notifications when I upload new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram to see what I'm working on between video updates. FedEx dropped this box off on my doorstep this morning, and I've been itching to open it all morning long. So I thought I'd take a break from the shaker coat rack project I'm currently working on and do a quick unboxing and first impressions video. However, first let me state that I am not sponsored by, nor do I have any affiliation with Infinity Cutting Tools. I purchased this tool just as any other woodworker might by placing an order online and paying for it with my credit card. I've purchased several tools from Infinity Cutting Tools over the years and have thus far found their Infinity branded products to be top quality. So, without any further fanfare, let's open this box and see what I've got. Well, we got a lot of styrofoam peanuts. See if we can do this without making a mess. I don't know if there's anything else in the bottom of that box, but we'll find out in a moment. So we've got a Pro Grip clamp. So this must be the 24-inch clamping straight edge. We've got a wooden box with a precision router dado jig. Another catalog. A 1/2-inch shank cutting bit, our receipt, okay, so this is everything that was in the box. Now let's take a closer look at each of the items. Okay, so this is the aluminum 24-inch straight edge. It's got clamps so it can attach to a board. It's got a little measuring tape here. It looks like that can be adjusted back and forth. And this is our precision router dado jig. That comes packaged in a nice little box with a foam insert. It's got some instructions. Looks like we've got a brass bushing, an Allen wrench, and the jig itself. Okay, let's A nice piece of billet aluminum. It's nicely machined. Has laser etched lettering and numbers. The bushing would attach to, it's a standard Porter cable bushing, so attached to most routers. And that fits nice and securely right in this center adjustable part. Okay. And then we've got a router bit. Half-inch shank. What's it say here? Half-inch shank straight bit with plunge point. Okay. So the instructions that came with the jig really aren't of much use, but it seems to be fairly easy to figure out, and there's an instructional video available on YouTube and on the Infinity Tools website if you need it. I set up this test by setting the bushing slider in the center of its scale, which reads 1 inch and is actually about 2 inches from the straight edge. I then marked an offset line 2 inches parallel from where I wanted the center of a 1/2 inch wide dado and clamped the straight edge on that offset line. I've installed the supplied 1/2 inch router bit and guide bushing in my router. Let's see how it works. So that seemed to work fairly smoothly and as advertised. But now that I've actually used it, I have a couple of thoughts. The first is you need to make certain the straight edge is accurately positioned and clamped tightly. If not, the dado cut may not end up where you want it. I also suggest pushing the router in the direction of the cut and not necessarily applying pressure against the straight edge, which could cause it to shift or deflect. The guide bushing is held captive in the jig, which will ensure that the cut follows the straight edge. Another thing is to not over-tighten the jig against the straight edge. The bearings need to be able to slide smoothly along the straight edge without binding. The Shaker coat rack project I'm currently working on has a number of routed dados. I call them mortises in my project video. I could have used this jig for that project, but I made a template about 20 years ago that I've used to build multiples of the coat rack. Templates, while they take time to build, definitely speed up the process of building multiples. But if I were building a one-off project where a template would be a waste of time, this jig would be a very useful tool. All in all, this jig seems like a nice shop aid for routing dados. Granted, you could accomplish the same thing with just a straight piece of wood and a couple of clamps. But this jig is a lot sexier. Ah, another new toy. Nicely made. I like it. Well, there you have it. The expert has spoken. I'm Greg Swenson, and this has been the Swenson Woodshop.